How do we gradually erode our health? How is everyone doing out there? I'm Thomas, and welcome. My channel is about education and, in general, esoteric education. Not necessarily, what you might think of esotericism, but stuff that's kind of off the beaten path. Um, Subjects that are not well known, hidden, but maybe not that inaccessible. Uh, they're right there out there for us, but they're just not known by other people, by the general population. Things that I've discovered in my research that I think are important. One of these things is the tree of life, and this is the diagram that I use. There's a lot of different forms of similar diagrams of tree of life. But this is one that I'm going to be using. And it's got 12 different categories, which generally correspond to our faculties of consciousness. And these categories are in 10 different spheres, numbered 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's an abyss right here, which is an implied circle or sphere. And then there is a 0 above the tree. For a total of 12 different categories, they more or less break down as our animal consciousness, survival instinct, the health of our body. We've got the ninth sphere, which is about our domestic consciousness, what we get growing up in the home, in the first years of our life, where we're highly receptive and we pretty much just kind of stare at our caregivers, and we memorize what they do and we copy what they do to the extent that we can. Then in the eighth sphere, we have a similar concept, but it's out in the public world. This is when we finally go out into the world. We go to school, we go out into the out to church or something like that, and we learn from the teachers and the preachers and the news media and the expert opinion, and they tell us what we're supposed to believe, and then we copy that. So we believe that, and we rationalize it, and we defend it. So we use our logical faculty, our rationalization, to defend what they tell us, regardless of whether it's true or not. Usually it's partly true. Then the seventh, so this is the real world, in quotes. And then over here we have the imaginary world. So the seventh sphere is when you get into the eighth sphere and you see it's not all it's cracked up to be. You move over to the seventh sphere and you make commentary on it. You use your creative skills, your intuitive skills, your imagination. You imagine something better. And you are inspired by other people who've done the same. And you come up with a new song or a new poem, a new invention that critiques the eighth sphere and also provides an alternative for the eighth sphere. Okay, and that also provides us with kind of a wedge to get up to the higher parts of the tree as well through inspiration. And then at the sixth sphere, we have our free will faculty. This is the center of the tree, and this is where we're located. And our free will faculty allows us to pay attention and to make decisions. And the paying attention, unfortunately, is normally occupied by paying attention down toward the bottom of the tree to our conditionings and our habits and our belief systems and even our own survival. So we're paying attention to those things. Instead, we can make the decision to turn ourselves around and face the upper part of the tree in the spiritual world. But unfortunately, this usually is kind of like staring into the abyss, not really like this abyss, even though that's kind of what it looks like. But it's the unknown, because these areas of our lives have not been well developed. So we don't really, it's hard to turn around and face into that, because we're paying attention here. If we're paying attention down here, we're paying attention to like the known, or at least what we think we know, even though this is we're just copying. When you have a belief system at the A sphere, by definition, if you believe something, that means that you don't know. So we're not really facing what we know, but we consider it to be the known, as opposed to turning around up here and then looking into paying attention to what is unknown. But if we do that, these gradually become more and more clear to us. Okay, so at the fifth sphere, this is really our sense of justice. This is, you could call it karma, and this is what comes around, goes around. As you sow, so shall you reap. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And these are, if we tune into our karma, it can become our teacher. We can get instant feedback on our behavior, and then we can gradually modulate our behavior to reflect those teachings. So that's a way that we gradually hone our sense of justice, is by paying attention to our karma. And our karma is corresponds to the fourth sphere, which is the natural law, or a cosmology, which is a communication, like a holy book or a theory of everything, that purports to describe how everything works and how things all work together interrelatedly, and they all have a form and a function. And it's a great jigsaw puzzle, or a three-dimensional jigsaw puzzle, or mesh, that everything all works together in harmony. So the harmony also corresponds with the universal love, our ability to love our enemies and to give, seeking nothing in return, and the universal language, which is not English or Spanish, but is our body language, our other forms of nonverbal communication. Then we have here, so the law here is articulated and it's enforced here at the fifth sphere. The abyss here is about our psychic powers. This is our ability to tune into and recognize omens, and then to be able to act upon the omens. It's two parts. Psychic receptivity is the tuning in part, and then psychic heat is the courage that we need to act upon them, because acting upon the omen, which is like a synchronicity or a coincidence, a deja vu, something like that, recurring number, and this we can recognize, but then in order to act upon it, we have to have the courage, because acting upon it generally requires us to put ourselves out there and expose ourselves in a certain way, make ourselves vulnerable. So we have to be able to have a certain amount of faith in recognizing the importance of omens, to be able to and we usually have to act upon that omen like instantaneously. So any kind of hesitation, and we might miss out on the omen. Then we have 3, 2, and 1 above the tree. These are our divine faculties within: omnipotence, all powerful; omniscience, all knowing or wisdom; and omnipresence, all present, all at once, eternally. And this is we tap into this through generally sound synchronization techniques, such as mantra. We tap into this. Our wisdom faculty is our ability to solve problems, either through quieting the mind and being able to control the mind enough so that we don't pay attention to the content of our thoughts, but we can just notice our thoughts and stay paying attention to the actual what's going on right now. And if we can't do that, then we tune in through what's called an oracle or divination system, which is a substitute for being able to do it ourselves. And this is a random chance process where the creator of the universe is able to speak with us directly when we ask certain questions through that random chance process. Then we have the one above the tree, omnipresence, all everywhere at once. And this is our unifying factor. So we all have this spark within us. And the spark that's within me is the same as the spark that's within you. And that's the same as the spark that's within, this plant, and the same as the spark that's within this phone here. Everything is unified through, even if you think it's something inanimate, everything is unified through this sphere, through our centers. So once we get to our deepest center, somehow we end up in this unified field. Then the zero above the tree is like a mystery. It's what the creator reserves for itself. It's the creator's private life, so to speak. So that's how the tree breaks down. Now, I've broken it down to another level when I do my presentations, and that is by taking the whole tree, all 12 of the faculties, and superimposing all 12 onto each one of the 12 categories. So you end up with a 12 by 12 design, which is the 144 fractal faculties, or mini faculties, or stages of life, which are not our normal concept of chronological stages, but they're really dramatic stages. And at this stage here today, we're going to be talking about stage number 7, and the question, how do we gradually erode our health? Now, if you want me to send you a copy of a list, an annotated list of those 144 fractal faculties, you can click the link in the description, and I'll send that out to you. That'll be a good reference for watching future videos from me and correlating them, and kind of learning by comparing one with another and so on. This one today, number 7, is a fractal of the 10th sphere. So we're in the 10th sphere, which is about survival and the health of our body, and we are at the we're at the 4th fractal of the 10th sphere. So we're in the natural law part of the 10th sphere. This is universal law, universal language, universal love. And this is within the survival aspect. So the 7th, the 4th, this is number 7 out of the 144, but it is the 4th fractal of the 10th sphere. It's called unsound nutrition. Stage number 7 is about how blind eating, blind consumption results in the degeneration of individuals and eventually entire societies. When all the trimmings are trapping us, we're alive but hardly thriving, alive but not thriving, alive but not lively or lovely, largely compromised, to a degree incapacitated. We're eating only for taste. So we're not going to turn down tasty baked goods at the office or free samples at the store, pushing free poison on us, gateway to a costly addiction. For sound nutrition, We just can't eat whatever, whenever. The results are smelly stools, bad body fumes, the feeding of face, the accumulation of waste, and the degeneration of race, a quickening of sickening in a mad land with only varying degrees of sad. The result of precocious culinary skills. We outcooked our coverage. We outcooked our evolution, making monstrous concoctions that taste really good leads to minimal health, punctuated by healing crises, sustaining residual disease. When all the trimmings are trapping us, the debt peonage of life force, where regeneration is falling further behind degeneration and filling the hospital's death rows. But as of yet, almost no one knows. Life force is replenished only by proper diet and fasting. All right, that is number 7. How do we gradually erode our health? And I guess the corollary, how do we gradually avoid gradually eroding our health? And that's the 7th fractal of the 10th sphere. Please click the link in the description if you'd like a copy of those 144 fractal faculties annotated, and also click the like button, share, and subscribe, and tell your friends who aren't on the, that you can't share it with. And I have also my Cash App and YouTube in there, so you can donate to me if you like these videos and you want to see more. And but I guess the secret is that even if you don't donate, you probably still will be able to see more, because I'm going to be rolling out a new video at least one a day of these 144 fractal faculties until we're done. I think this is like the 53rd one or something. So we got about 3 more months at that rate, but hopefully I'll pick up the pace a little bit too. And otherwise, have a nice day, and we'll see you next time.